Well, Jamie, welcome to Iceland.
Thank you.
Is this your first time here?
I think it is. I'm not sure. I played in Iceland for Liverpool in Europe.
No, we've only played once against England. Against England.
Oh, okay,
That was 2 years ago.
Okay, well, not for me then. But no, not being here. It's been wanting to come for a while. People keep telling me about the Blue Lagoon, so we're going to see that tomorrow. But nice to be here, yeah.
The season for Liverpool, what do you think of that and the chances to win the Champions League? And also, I want to ask you about the Coutinho thing.
Well, I think it's been a very good season for Liverpool. It could be a great season if they win the Champions League. If they lose in the final, I think it's still been a very good season. Qualify for the Champions League again. Great run to the Champions League. The games against Roma, Manchester City, Porto. So it's been a very good season, but it could be a special season. And I think in January when we lost Coutinho, I think people were fearing the worst. I certainly was. That, missing, he was maybe our best player at the time, or you see the price he went to Barcelona, so how good he was. So to lose him, no replacement, but the replacement was Virgil van Dijk, and he's coming and being fantastic. So maybe the team now is even stronger, and that's why we're in the position of the Champions League final. So again, the manager was questioned, and that happens a lot in Liverpool or any big club, that you always question the decisions of the manager. But again, Jurgen Klopp has been proven right, and hopefully he can finish off with another Champions League win, number 6. And I think all the credit should go to the manager.
Should this transfer, Coutinho and Van Dijk, happened last summer instead of in this January?
Well, really, you'd like to keep Coutinho and still sign Virgil van Dijk. You know, why do we have to lose Coutinho to buy Van Dijk? We messed up the transfer last summer of Van Dijk. I think it was right to keep Coutinho because it was so late in the window. I think Coutinho was fantastic from the start of the season to January, and that's why I felt if we could keep him. Imagine having Van Dijk and Coutinho. That's what you want when you're a big club. But I think Jurgen Klopp felt Coutinho's head wasn't in the right place. It was an awful lot of money. I don't think he was worth that much money. He was a very good player, but 142 million is probably too much, really. But so Liverpool should have plenty of money to spend again in the summer. Hopefully get a replacement for Coutinho, because I think we still miss him. We still miss someone in midfield who can play a clever pass, really. So, yes, hopefully we can get the new Coutinho in the summer.
And the final against Real Madrid, how are the chances for Liverpool in that match?
I think Liverpool have a really good chance. I think they have to play well. I think Madrid have shown that they can win big games without playing well. I think we saw that against Juventus and Bayern Munich. I don't think Liverpool are at that level yet where they could not play at the best and win a game of this magnitude, but I think they can play well and win. I think there's been plenty of teams who've done that to Real Madrid this season. I remember watching them against Tottenham Hotspur at Wembley early on the season, and Tottenham were too energetic, too powerful for them, and I think that's how Liverpool have to win the game, how they played against Roma and Manchester City at home. In the Champions League, they have to bring a performance like that against Real Madrid in this final to beat them, and I think that they're more than capable of doing that, but they'll need plenty of energy.
Mo Salah, Player of the Year, not just in Liverpool, in English football. And can you compare him with Suarez and Torres, who are maybe the two greatest before him?
Yes.
Strikers in Liverpool, I mean.
Well, he scored more goals than them in one season. He could do what they never did, which was win the Champions League. Torres didn't win anything at Liverpool. I think Suarez only won the League Cup when we beat Cardiff in the final. So I think if Salah could win the European Cup, I think he eclipses both players. He's done more in his Liverpool career in one season than those players did in maybe 3, 4, 5 years. So yes, at this moment he's probably having a better season than they did when they were at the best, just because of the number of goals that he scored, and hopefully there's 1 or 2 more for the 26th of May.
Okay. I wanted also to ask you about probably the Arsenal new manager, Mikel Arteta. What do you think of that?
Well, it's a surprise. I think Arteta's very young, hasn't got any managerial experience. Yes, he's worked with Pep Guardiola, which is maybe the best teacher in the world at the moment, because he's possibly the best manager in the world. But lots of great managers have had number 2s, have become managers. So you think of Alex Ferguson with Steve McLaren, Brian Kidd, Carlos Queiroz. They never really went on to do much as a manager. So just working with someone else, I don't think should be everything. But it's a very brave decision, I think, by Arsenal. Arteta could be fantastic, or he may find it really difficult because he's never been a manager before. So it's one that I don't think anyone would have thought of maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. And it'd be very interesting to see how it goes.
And maybe the better choice to have someone unproven than someone who hasn't done many things in other countries, maybe?
Well, I always think experience, certainly as a manager, would help someone going into a club of that size. He's been there as a player, so he knows the club. But if they're getting someone like that, why not Thierry Henry? Why not Patrick Vieira, maybe? But I think it's working with Guardiola. I think what he's done in England, everyone's mightily impressed with Guardiola, the football he play. And maybe the football Arsenal play at Man City is quite similar. So it's not someone who's coming in to do a complete change, and they need to change the whole squad and have a different style of football. So it'll certainly be a similar style. But is that what Arsenal need at the moment? I'm not so sure. I think they do need a change of style, really. I think it's very difficult to take on Man City the way they play. I don't think that'll be possible. So I think Arsenal will be successful if they change the style slightly, but maybe Arteta will do that.
Around 3 weeks to World Cup, and the England squad have been published. How do you like that?
I think it's a good squad. I like it. I think the manager's been very brave, making big decisions, which I think we all like to see the manager do.
What do you think are the big decisions?
Well, he could have easily put Joe Hart in the squad. Yeah, he hasn't been at his best, but he's an experienced player. He was his goalkeeper right throughout the qualifying. It would have been easy to put him as number 2 or number 3 goalkeeper. He hasn't done that. There was a lot of clamour in the media for Jack Wilshere to go because we don't have many creative players. But again, fitness issues. In the past, we've taken players, maybe Wayne Rooney, David Beckham, who are not 100% fit, and they've never produced the best in the tournament. So I think he's taken the right decisions. There's very little I think many people can disagree with.
If Iceland will play against England in the World Cup, who would win?
England, of course.
Okay. Thank you, Jamie, and have a good time in Iceland.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.